Hey everyone. So now we're going to talk about infrastructure. So the first thing we're going to start with is GitHub. So GitHub exists because a few reasons. The first is that it's a place to put your repo or repository of code that you can either share with people, you can collaborate and then have them push new updates to it, change certain files, track of all that. In worst case scenario, like if I go back into my, I'll just take a repository recently, the vibe coding class. If I do something wrong, like I can see the commits that have happened of like what's been updated and go back and I can roll back to this commit number. So it allows different things to happen. But at the end of the day, it's a online storage place for you and your friends to share code or you to just store your code personally, and it's decentralized from like if you go to like a Replit or Base 44 or some other like coding repository, like big coding company, like they own the code once they develop it. Like in this case, you own the code and you can keep it and then also push it to things like AWS, Azure, GCP, whatever you want to, but like it's your code. So like you own it from there, even though I guess Gemini or Anthropic or ChatGPT created it for you. But yeah. So, anyways, what we want to do, if you guys have followed the other instructions of how to set up uh, GitHub, what we want to do firstly is go back to root code here and make sure that you have the right details from the getting started document in there because they have changed, and so hopefully you get them in there. The second piece of infrastructure we want to talk about, which is actually it's a two-in-one type thing, is we have Vercel here, which has the ability to host websites, ability to host databases, and databases are important because if you go into, let's just say like Reddit, like every single Reddit post here is populated from a database because it's dynamic. It's not static. And so you need a database to have your users, your content, like everything in this case, the use case working on now for referrals, like every new company you add, every time someone changes the referral link, like a database is needed. And so you're able to create storage objects within this, which will use a Postgres database to do that, which is the most common database out there. So there's nothing hard to worry about there. So in this whole thing, like I can do different ways of producing where I want to go, which is create my own referral website that people can join and do certain things with. The first one is that I can just say, "Hey, Rue, like, go create me a GitHub repo that does or is called this and connects to Vercel and connects to the storage system and so on." Or it's like the old math class analogy of, or I can create it manually where I go through like repo, I say new repo and click through it. And I think this is the better way because I can say here, like, I want to call this referral underscore project. And here, description doesn't really matter, but basic site for people to look at. Public or private. Public means anyone can take your code, they can see it, they can do whatever they want with it. Private means it's just yours, you can share it with whoever you want to. Don't worry about the last things here, but in this case, I'm going to make it private and say create repository. Now I have this link right here. So what I can start out with is, and I'm on Windows this time, but I can go to VS Code, and in this case, I'm going to say new window because I was working on another project, and I can say open folder. In this case, I'm going to create a brand new folder. I don't know where. I want to go to my desktop and create a brand new folder called referral /group. This is now the home place where everything is going to be populated. So now here we go. It's in there. Now on here, I can say initialize repository under my source control, which means it's going to go into GitHub and like get things like prepared for me. I honestly don't want to do that right now. I want to go to root code. And one thing I didn't describe before underneath the settings here is this enable reasoning button. If I enable reasoning, what it allows it to do is think on its own and enable to, it's like almost like you're talking to another person and questioning and asking back and figuring things out. So like reasoning, it gets expensive because it takes a long time to get through because it's reasoning through all these different scenarios, figuring out the best one. Otherwise, it's just taking the best guess. It's like me asking you a question, you just take your best guess versus me asking you a question, you go to the dictionary, look it up, and or Wikipedia, and then check a different source and figure out whether it's right or wrong, and then decide which one you believe to better be true, and so on. So reasoning is interesting. The enable reasoning will come in later when I actually want to build out my site because I wanted to really think about some of the decisions I've made and make sure they're good decisions. The initial steps where I'm just asking it to build out really basic code, I just want it to do what I'm going to ask it to do right now, which is I have a GitHub repo with this name. I want to initialize, and I'll save all this before initialize. I can get it wrong, and it'll still pick up what I want to do. Initialize the repo and make it, and also connect and build out a Vercel project, which I will create a Neon database for. Okay, so what's it going to do? It's going to take my repo that I've created. If it'll install things if I haven't installed them yet. So some other people may get a bunch of like install steps of like, oh, you need to install this, 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 this. It'll go through it and do all that for you. Next up is Vercel project. So let's hit run and let it go through there. And Next.js is what Vercel's founder created and then built a company around it called Vercel. But like Next.js is just a coding language, or JavaScript, but like a whole different framework on top of it. Those are wondering. And you can change it around. You can be Python, you can be Rust, Go, whatever, depending on your scenario. So right now what Rue is doing is it's going through and just getting everything ready. Now let me create the Neo4j database connection library and out the application source files. That is not what we want. Install dependencies for Neo4j for SPK. Where did I say that we need? Oh, I said Neo database. Oh, that's not great. Let me stop that and say I misspoke. I don't need a Neo4j database. I need just to have a basic GitHub repo with a hello world file, and I need to connect it to Vercel, which will deploy it, and also it has a Postgres database for when we make a better site. So that's how you have to talk to these systems and figure out, okay, what's going on. So we can see here what's happened. Uh-oh. It's not what I wanted. Continue. I may need to stop it altogether and restart just from the start take, but hopefully this gives you an idea already of what is going on, because I'm going to stop this. New task. I may have actually sent the same thing in. Let's see. New task. What is this? I can see exactly what it is, so I can pair it with what I want before. That should have just been neon. That would have been the difference between Neo4j and it's thinking Neo4j, and so that's my fault. So I want to start from the beginning. Yep. Let it do its thing and delete all the junk it started importing, and you'll learn that like there's a million products out there, and as the projects are being developed, people can import them and use them. And so in this case, like Neo4j is a massive graph database that it was importing all these libraries to get ready to build out a graph database, and we don't need all that stuff. And so it was my fault, and also the AI's fault, because I said Neo, but I'm at Neon, which is one letter off, but it's different because it correlated Neo closer to Neo4j than Neon. So, anyways, we'll clean this up and get this going. And so hopefully what we'll see between here and GitHub, where I can go to myself. See, it's not been populated yet. And if I refresh, there's no projects underneath there yet, so it's not pushed any code, which is good. And it's just running through things. And I just usually just hit accept. So yeah, there. If you read it real quickly, it's like, let me recreate the README. Let me then do all these things. So then I can go into the storage here, which I already created a database, but I'm going to create a new one just for the sake of this. So I'm going to say Neon database. Region doesn't really matter. I'm going to say just continue, unless you want like there's different, if you go to different regions, there's more powerful versions, but in this case, I'm just going to choose the basic one and just say create, continue. In this case, you can see here, I can't connect it to a project yet because it's not available because we haven't pushed it yet to code, which let's take a look. Let's see, why is this not? There you go, run. So now it's cleaning up all those stupid Neo4j files it created because my stupid mistake of Neon versus Neo. So it'll clean it all up. And then here we have it created in now, just recently, and all this information here, I say show secret or not, like you're able to then grab that information and use that for, and I'll show you that in a moment, but like you can copy the snippet and tell it, here's the exact specs of how to connect to that database. But for now, let's just get this thing running. That's the goal, is just clean up my own stupid mess. And Now, project manager Vercel and Vic is connected to Vercel now. On to play every push to main. Perfect. So now it is doing all the work you normally have to code out as a coder, and this is why people are like, I can't believe like coding is being taken over by like AI, and it's like all this bullshit that you have to type in here. Like, rather have AI do it. So it's almost done. Boom. Okay. Task completed. Let's take a look. Referral project now has all those things in there, which is great. Now, let's take a look at what we have in Vercel. Let's go to Vercel. See all projects. Ah, there it is. Here we go. Let's load it up. Here we go. Hello world. Boom. We got ourselves a Vercel working project. I know it took a little bit longer than I thought, but there you go. Vercel project created, database connected, or not. Let's see. Next step is Postgres. Go to Vercel dashboard and refer. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is I'm going to hide this away from people, but go to storage, go to your connect database, connect to it. See all the local environment variables? Say, I'm going to pull this over. Show secret, copy snippet. Say, here are the environmental variables from the Postgres database. Oh, and I just showed that on live screen, which I did not want to do. So I'll have to blur that out after. Or right after this, I'm actually changing it. So yeah, I will do everything from this point forward of connecting the database to run and make the environmental variables, do everything else. And so now we have a database connected, which will be really cool. Now we have everything running. Let's just take a quick look at what we got under our screen here. Under actions in GitHub, you can see we were deployed. We're good to go. Let's just make sure. Yep. Under code, you can see 4 minutes ago we had our last deployment. Under guides, let's go back to vercel.com. We go to deployments. We can see that, yeah, this new one is ready and pushed and good to go. And so, yeah, we have this little basic project, but get ready for what it's going to transform into if you've been listening to the prior series. So thank you.